Strange funerals, we've had a few.
Are you ready for true tales from a real undertaker? Everything from strange situations to crazy paranormal experiences. For over 20 years, Mark Tofson was a funeral director and embalmer working everywhere from California to Japan. Get set to hear about his hauntingly crazy adventures.
Welcome back to my channel. You didn't get rid of me that easily. Reason I look kind of scruffy is I'm up here camping with my cousins and we're fishing. Actually, I got a line in here right now, trying to get some trout. We're up in northern Arizona at the Apache Reservation at Reservation Lake. Just so you can see what you're missing out on, I'll go ahead and scan for you. Anyhow, today I thought I would talk about some unique funerals that I was a part of. This was when I was an apprentice, so I was first starting out. The first man, speaking of camping, he loved to go camping, so he went to camp with his little camper, and unfortunately his propane tank leaked into the trailer and it unalived him. They had him brought to our mortuary. They told us how much he loved camping, so we suggested maybe trying a camping viewing. So I had to embalm him so he would go into a sleeping bag. We put him in the sleeping bag on the floor of the visitation room. We built a little fake campfire and had some trees and plants brought in. And it looked really great, and the family was very pleased. They thought it was wonderful. The time came that we had to take him for the funeral. We actually just picked him up in the sleeping bag and put it in the casket and took him to church and then to the cemetery. Everything went great. We were very happy, and we actually tried to offer services like that for more people. The second one was actually a Chinese funeral. Now, if you know anything about Chinese funerals, part of their belief is they burn things to take with you to the afterlife, like fake money, paper cars, things like that. And they believe by burning it, it goes to heaven with the person. The biggest problem was my boss told them that they could do whatever they wanted in the parking lot. Well, of course we didn't want to disturb them while they were having their service in the chapel, so we were waiting outside. Well, all of a sudden I started smelling smoke and burning, and we went in and they'd had a big giant wok and they were burning paper money in there, and they had it on the carpet. Well, this was burning the carpet, so my boss freaked out and ran in and grabbed the fire extinguisher and put it out. They were pretty mad, but yeah, they probably would have lit the place on fire. So they really got mad when he presented them with the bill for recarpeting the whole chapel, because it wasn't one of these things you could do a patch job on, so they had to recarpet everything. I think it was about $5,000. The third funeral was a gypsy funeral. I'd been warned by some of my schoolmates at mortuary school about not accepting these because they were a big problem. Now, they don't call them gypsies here, they call them travelers. They live in trailers, they go from town to town, basically doing scams where they say they're going to fix your roof or repair your house, and either they just take the money and leave, or they do a really shoddy job and leave you with a problem. So anyways, one of their members died. They wanted to have a funeral. I warned my boss about it. He didn't listen when they flashed all this cash in front of him. So yeah, and the fun began. The first thing that happened was they were going to stay there for several days, so they all pulled in with their trailers and parked, in the parking lot. It wasn't a problem until I heard some commotion outside and some kind of a metal striking something hard. I went out and I found one of the guys was trying to use a pick to dig through our pavement in the parking lot. I told him he needed to stop. He explained that they were going to cook a goat and they needed it in a pit. And I told him if they did that, then I was going to call the police and have them all removed. So he stopped. They lasted like 3 days they were there. They were all drunk, running in and out of the funeral home, causing commotions, disturbing other people. They stole everything that wasn't nailed down, and they even stole some stuff that was. They ripped out the soap dispensers in the bathrooms. They stole the toilet seats. They stole some chairs. It was just really crazy. So by the time they were done, I think my boss lost about $6,000 or $7,000 worth of repairs and items. At that point, he thought, okay, well, I'll get it from them. Well, yeah, right. They used a fake name and everything else. So he couldn't collect. I just got a fish. So, but he couldn't collect on it, and yeah, after that, he thought he better listen to me a little more when I gave an opinion like that. But so yeah, this one's going to be a short one, but I just wanted to tell you a couple of strange funerals I dealt with. I'll come back next week, have another story for you. I do appreciate you coming and listening, and please, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll get back with you later. Thanks. Bye.
Please like, share, and subscribe.